You just missed
We
the 10
came
ball.
in at yeah, we came in at a great time. Those of you who don't have the ability to go back in time and start a stream earlier, you're coming in with Ruslan racking. Uh, Mitsko was running out whenever I came on. He had like 4 balls left. Leaves himself, I guess, a little tester on the 10, but something he should have gotten down. Needless to say, Ruslan's the one racking after he jawed it up. So we already got drama. That drama in my best Carboys voice.
Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. We were trying to find the feed from Martin's phone. I guess they were a little bit late getting to the room, and so we got live there. I think right as Ruslan was hitting that 10 ball, but what you didn't see was the miss from Misko. So not a great start for him. But from what I understand, Fortunski and Martin were riding together, Mike. So I'm pretty sure Misko was rushing in here, hopped out of the car, and came right to this table. Probably didn't even get to hit a ball as Ruslan just miscued on the brake, hit the side rail, and then hit the rack. I'm not sure if that's a turnover or if that's a foul. Some tournaments make you re-brake here, but some tournaments say that Misko actually has ball in hand and Ruslan's on one.
Well, I know what my buddy Dom would say because evidently in Florida they got their own rules. So he did not touch the one, right?
Did not touch the one. He probably hit about right below the three ball, whatever was there, I guess. And it looks like Misko is going to rack and break, but they're discussing it.
Huh. I like the being on one and ball in hand personally, but that ship has sailed.
Well, I mean, if you don't get the three foul, it makes for a really long rack.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You could have buried him there.
This is actually how I run my tournaments. I mean, it's there's two ways to do it, and I'm not going to argue that one's right over the other. I just think for me, it speeds things up a little bit to just make it a turnover. The incoming player has the break, and if it is alternate break, you keep the order the same. So the same guy would actually break three times in a row, but winner break here.
Yeah, I might have with the way that everything's been breaking. I mean, hell, it might even be
Tell him
a
go ahead.
yeah. Go ahead and break. Go ahead and break again. I mean, they'll never do it, but um,
Did I tell you
yeah.
about the
Look at
time
this.
I was at the Super Billiards Expo in up near Philly, the last one that they had, the Pat Fleming event? And
Right.
I'm watching the pro event. Corey Dool is playing Billy Thorpe, and Corey's really struggling with a break. He's down in the set like 7-2, maybe 7-3, and finally wins a rack on Billy's break. And it is, I think, alternate break. And so Corey, it's his break, and he tells Billy, he said, "Go ahead and break him." And Billy's like, "What?" And Corey said, "Break him." And of course, Billy breaks dry, sells out. Corey runs that rack. And then it's Billy's break on the next one. He breaks dry, sells out. Corey runs that rack. So it's back to like, I think it was got back to like 8-5 from 8-2. And then Corey tells him to break again. And Billy's like, "Nope, not doing it." And Corey's like, "Break." And Billy's like, "Nah." And they called the tournament director over. And he said, "Nah, Corey, you have to break."
That's too funny.
So I have
Billy
seen that
didn't even know
happen.
he was getting in the trap, and he didn't even know. He thought he was stealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the expo a couple of years ago when I think so we put Raymond in for Roan, and I think he got second or third, four, something like that. I think he lost to James in the final. Oh,
Yeah, a
seemed
little bit of
stalled up on us.
little lag with the video here. Somebody in the comments says, "What's up, Joey?" Joey's actually out for a second, guys. You're listening to Melina Mike and Jeremy Mason. I'm the host of the Sweat Podcast. Joey, I think, will be in and out here. He's doing some work, but he was actually with us a moment ago, so we'll see if he gets back in. Um, Not looking good here, Mike.
No, no, no. Unless I don't think Mitsuko's uh, hey, mute Joey.
Got it.
Um Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can message Martin and see what's up. Um,
Let me stop
but
sharing my
this
screen for a second here, and I'll back out of this real quick and see what I can figure out.
shout out to my man Franco Custom Cues. Yeah, get Joey out of there.
Nah, it is officially frozen. That's a Martin problem. So we'll have to see if we can get in contact with him.
Well, I know usually he has his stuff on do not disturb when he's over there. So um, let me see if I can send him a
Yeah.
message.
So sorry to the 90 some people that are watching right now. We're off to about as good of a start with the stream today as Mishko had in this set. Um, but we'll try to fix that for you guys.
Yeah. Meanwhile, did you get to watch the end of last night's match? Both
I think
matches?
I almost made it there. I think Shane had about 5 racks to go. I did not buy the Tony and Alex yet. I probably will. I didn't buy it just because I was already watching, Shane and doing this and whatever. But close match, right? 9-7. Anybody that doesn't know, Alex Pagulayan playing Tony Cho in a race to 36, one pocket over the course of 4 days. Cool action TV with the pay per view. Going to be a good one.
Yep. Tony was up something like 5-3, 5-2, no 5-3. Uh, and yeah, he ended up coming back. Alex ended up coming back. Alex was playing really well in those 4-inch pockets, man. It was it was fun to go and watch while you guys were I think you guys were doing the last match of the night. I was enjoying some dinner, watching some football, and then ended up going and watching some one pocket. But um, yeah, the Shane match I didn't really watch a whole lot of. It got out of hand pretty early.
I
Shane was
think
just
I
on
think
another
Chang
level.
made a pretty big mistake accepting that extension there. I think if he had any chance to win that match, it was going to be trying to stretch it out for those 5 games. He was in a bad spot either way. Things were really not going his way, but he had a much better chance in a race to 5 there. Even being, with the momentum in Shane's court, Shane still has a lot of pressure. When you're the guy that makes that kind of a comeback, but all of a sudden you still have to win a race to 5, there's still a lot of pressure involved with that. Where Shane just looks like he could literally play a race to 40 every day, Mike. I don't know about you, but for me, like that one, the third day got real late on both of them. Shane kind of slowed down his process and really had to work through it a lot. But he just looks like he could do that every day.
Well, I mean, he'll have a lot of time off. I'll say that because ain't nobody gonna be playing him 10 ball anytime in the near future. I don't see anybody play short of filler wanting to get out of line, um, or maybe even, well, I don't know, Anton maybe coming over to the States one of these days, one of these years rather. But I don't see anybody messing with him when it comes to 10 ball anymore. Shane doesn't have any interest in playing one pocket. So the options really are going to be limited for him. Um, but if I don't know, man. If I'm Shang's people, the way that Chang, the way that Chang was up, I may want to run it back. I wouldn't do a race to 120 though. I would do a shorter race. But uh,
Yeah, and I don't think the fact that it
this
was
that
120 was the problem. I think the 40 every day was the real problem. Shane
yeah.
plays too slow. He can't play a 10-hour session with Shane. And you could see the difference between Shane and Chang and Shane in that set is Shane can freewheel through so much of that, especially when he gets that good feeling going. Chang isn't that kind of player. He's the kind of player that has to have 100% full attention every single shot. Not as much like natural ability as Shane seems to have. Shane, maybe I don't want to say natural ability because they both work their butts off. Like let's not get that mistaken. But I just feel like there's spots in matches that seem to be easier for Shane than they are for Chang.
Well, I mean, he definitely shot himself into a coma. I mean, you saw the
Yeah,
picture of them at 5 a.m. where he was just laid out. So,
that's pretty
um,
great. You saw the
I think they're
side by
saying,
side with the from the movies.
yeah, yeah. I think they're saying your mic might be a little low.
Yeah, I made an adjustment. You guys let me know if that's any better. I did see those
Okay.
comments, so let me know if it's still low. Can you hear me okay, Mike?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can hear you just fine. Um, but yeah, no, if I'm an adjusted race, adjusted format rather, like he's not gonna ask for any kind of spot, but I like Chang if they were to go play again. You know, I think it can go and be competitive, and it was competitive. I mean, they were
Oh yeah,
trading 10 rack leads. They were trading 10 rack leads. You know, um, it's like what metric do you use to go and measure greatness by, right? Because I think Chang got to 100 first, if I'm not mistaken, and that was the golden line to go and cross and pull. Oh, let's play a race to 100. Well, they did that, except the race was a little longer. Uh, and the later in the night that it got, the more that it Shane just looked a lot more fresh. And even at 5 a.m. when you saw that picture of them two next to each other, Shane looked like he could have gone another, 12 hours because he and meanwhile Chang was dead. I mean, he was done, and he
yeah,
never got his legs back. Um, his stroke was just off. You know, it reminds me of like in baseball where you have these guys who play the home run derby, and if you follow baseball enough, you'll know that the guys who usually play the home run derby, they usually will swing themselves into a terrible back end of the season because they've exerted so much energy trying to go and win the home run derby. And maybe it was that kind of effect where he he just kind of stroked himself and played pool enough to where it was just he killed himself. He, so um,
yeah. So I
we'll
think
see.
if they decide to go ahead and play again, you'd have to think Chang would probably want to ask for like races to 30 over the course of 4 days, and maybe you'd have a better chance because he was just gassed, and not we're not talking about just the fourth day. The fourth day he was gassed, but by the last couple hours of that third session, he had nothing left. Like couldn't make a ball,
Yeah,
nothing left.
yeah, it got real bad real soon. Um, but what can you do? I mean, they had already committed to playing to 120, and that was going to be the stop. Money's already posted. You're not going to Danny Smith them where you'll say, I'm going to go use the restroom and then leave the building and leave the parking lot and, and come back in 12 hours and pretend like everything's all good, you know? Um, so, I mean, to his credit, he stuck around, I guess. That's admirable. But yeah, I mean, he was done. So, uh, and the Shane, if you're on Shane's side or, betting on Shane on the rail, you're looking real good because now you got all the momentum, and Shane looked fresh. So even whenever I saw like maybe 5 minutes of the preview video that um, they did, and you just saw Shane going and missing balls, and I said, I don't think this is going to be a quick day. I mean, a short day rather. I don't think it was going to be a short day. So, which wasn't too bad. I think it was still 8 hours or so, but um, yeah, yeah, it was definitely. Shane ended up having the stamina and energy to go at the end.
Yeah, so I've been refreshing here on Martin's page. I don't see anything changing. We're still frozen where we left Mishko there. So guys, bear with us. We're trying to get that sorted out. Do you have any insight or any feedback recap of day one versus Tony versus Alex? I know we've talked a lot about Shane versus Chang, but 9-7 in favor of Alex Pagulayan right now.
No, it was pretty back and forth. It actually went a lot quicker than what I thought it was going to be. Um, but it's still early. They'll go and adjust. I think there'll be a lot more down table games. The moving side of it was great. Both of them shot really well. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you're Tony, you kind of have to play that style that you played against Chip. So, um, and because if Alex can go and start shooting the ball well, which he did yesterday, then Tony may be in trouble. Um, yeah, maybe we ought to just hold off and then just come back and see if we can get a hold of Martin. And when we got everything settled, then we can go and do our thing.
Yep, sounds good to me. All right, guys, hang tight. We're going to end the stream now. We'll be back as soon as we have something for you. You've been watching a collaborative effort between the Sweat Podcast and the Booth Brothers all week long. Hope you guys are enjoying it. We'll be back in a little bit.